Right, we are live. What's up, George? What's going on in the house of Craze tonight?
In the house of Craze tonight, we have a very talented artist. His name is Alex Melo. We're going to be talking to him about his creative process. Plus, we're going to be talking about how to handle trolls online. Let's talk about that in just a few minutes.
Yo, I got trolls under the bridge. Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man, and I am with
George, the Dreamer, Medina. What's happening, everyone?
Welcome. You crazy.
It's back. Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. It is Tuesday night, as we normally do. What up, Paul? Hades in the house.
P. Diddy in the house.
And we are going live once more. Thank you so much for coming on. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, comment as we are on these live streams, and hit that bell so that you know when we are going live, which is usually on Tuesday nights. This is no different. We have a very good guest tonight, Mr. Alex Melo, like I said in the soft open, and we're going to be talking about trolling. Trolling indeed. Lou Pons is in the house. What up? How are you today? I'm happy to be back, bro. I'm happy to be back. I actually I got a new computer. This is a new computer that I'm coming to you from. Look how big the screen is. I'm loving it.
I'm supposed to be putting it in the chat. I'm sorry, guys. I'm supposed to be I'm chatting. I'm supposed to tell Alex. I see him in the back room. I said we'll bring you in at the 30-minute mark, but I put it in the live stream.
Wow, it's gonna be a fun one today. Baby.
Yeah, I've been sipping, yeah. So it's gonna be a hoot tonight.
nice. Yeah, so I have some new things. I got a new computer. I got to transfer all my fonts, dude. Now I got to transfer all my fonts from my old one to the new one.
That
but
sucks.
The old ones, okay. So my old one, the battery died, so it doesn't turn on unless I keep it plugged into the wall. I went to Apple. You know, they had this trade-in program. You know how much you want to give me for my old one? It's from 2015. It's a MacBook Pro from 2015.
$75.
Yo, close. $100.
$100. Yo,
bro.
Yo.
I was like, are you crazy?
Yeah, those bad. They did that to me. I was like, forget that. Yo, I have every Mac I've ever owned in the garage because I refuse to sell out for a measly $100.
$100.
I'm holding that for a rainy day.
Oh my God. So I got this one. I have to transfer all the stuff in there. You know, my Adobe Photoshop is on here, but I have my fonts on the other one. So I got to turn that thing on and transfer everything back. I got a 4 terabyte little portable hard drive.
Look at that. Look at you.
4 terabyte. Remember we used to get like what? Like a gig was crazy. 500
Dude, no, hold on. Remember zip drives?
Oh my God. Not even zip drives. It was the discs. The discs.
Yo, I still got my zip drives because I said in the event that whatever's in there is valuable, one day I know I'm gonna need it. Yo, I got every hard drive I've ever owned in the closet.
Damn, son.
I'm that guy. I have every phone I've ever owned.
Still wow, in the boxes. That's crazy. I can see why you would have the hard drives and the zip drives and all these other little drives, but a phone?
Yo, you don't understand. Internationals, they want to buy that stuff from you in bulk. So, yo, I swear to you, they're like, yo, you have any old used phones that you want to sell? So I got all the Blackberries I ever owned. I have like 7 of them. I got all the iPhones I ever owned. It's just in a row, bro. I'm just saving it. I got all the iPads I've ever owned, because that's the sucky thing about technology, right? Because they upgrade the operating system so fast that the actual technology becomes obsolete.
Absolutely, they're done.
Yeah, that's what's happened with that iMac behind me. The new iOS don't support it. Right. So it runs so slow. So I have this one, but so I'm saving my money because that's very expensive. The Mac Tower.
Yeah.
That stuff that's like a down payment on a freaking house. So I'm saving my money. I'm hoping by sometime fall next year I can afford to get the Mac Tower, because that's going to be a one-stop where I can do the podcasting and the video editing and the drawing, because I can't have my Cintiq attached to this iMac because I have my podcasting connected to it. So you can't have too much because it just starts scrambling.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the power to support it. So I need a powerhouse system. So I'm saving my money. I'm putting for a rainy day. So what I'm doing is every convention I do, I'm taking $100 from those conventions and I'm putting it away towards my, raise money for Sam's Mac Tower fund.
You saw a loser? Pull up loser comment real quick.
Yeah, man.
It's on a floppy.
A floppy. Floppy for Poppy.
For Big Poppy. Oh man, yeah, dog. Yeah, so that's what I was up to today. Actually, I gotta check. They were supposed to install. I got this computer with Final Cut Pro installed in it, so I got to make sure.
You know how to use Final Cut?
I'll learn.
I was using that. I was a wizard with that. I haven't used Final Cut in years, but I used to remember back in the days of the Catch the Craze. I was using when we first started Catch the Craze. I was using Final Cut, and I was using Final Cut. I was using Premiere Pro, Final Cut, and at that time I had a lot of the animation programs. I had Maya, I had 3D Studio.
Maya. I remember taking classes in Maya, bro.
Yeah, bro.
That was one of the hardest programs. Yo, speaking of animation, have you seen the new Spider-Verse movie?
Nah, but I see people posting all over social media on it.
Dude, the animation. I mean, the story's good, but the animation on that movie, bro, it is out of control. Like, it is incredible to just watch, to see.
Yeah,
it's freaking nuts, bro. It's freaking nuts. But yeah, bro. So what you been up to, man? What you got going on? What
we got going on? We got an episode of the Crazy Channel Less, which is trending really well. It's there will never be another revolution again, an image revolution again. That is trending really well right now on YouTube, and basically it's just calling it what it is. I mean, check out that episode on the Crazy Channel Less, where I basically take a look back of what made image and what drove that, and why there will never be another revolution in comics like that again. And then on the Art of Samuel, talking about why prototype toys is the best way to go, instead of just going full gambit and spending $15,000-$20,000 on a toy line that you don't know is going to sell, and you don't have a distribution outlet for yourself. Prototypes are the way to go to test the market and get that information. And then I'm on tour. So, starting in August, I got a lot of stuff lined up. I got the Denton Comic Art Exposition. Then after that, I'm doing a book signing at Collected Comics for a brand new comic shop that they're opening. So they're expanding. I think this is the third one in their repertoire. And then after that, I'll be at the College Station Comic Con, and then Arlington Comic Fest after that. So I'll be, moving. And then in October, be launching book number 6 for There's an Alien in My Toilet. And I'm waiting on the proofs for book number 5 and the graphic novel. So that should be coming soon. I should have that soon. And then once I have the proofs, then I'll just confirm. Hopefully there's nothing more with the proofs and we can go to print. And so you guys will be having it by the end of the month or early July for all you Kickstarter backers. And don't forget, your boy Duty is a comic strip in A Kid in a Comic. If you haven't visited akidinacomic.com, go visit A Kid in a Comic. Duty is in a comic strip newspaper, an homage to the classics, with a lot of fantastic artists and writers in this, and it's available for order through akidinacomic.com and local comic shops, and hopefully be distributed with the news in airports and newspapers. So there's a bit, if you missed that interview with the publisher. Go check it out on Catch the Craze. We had a really good interview talking about the future of a kid in the comics. So that's pretty dope. So that's what's been happening here. What's been happening on your end, bro?
Yo, busy kid, busy. I'm doing some, I'm doing some lettering work. I'm working with Mr. Arroyo.
Arroyos con Pollos.
Yeah, he's got his book. Well, obviously his campaign ended, so he's going to be sending out some of those rewards out. But he has an extended version of the book, it's a behind the scenes thing, kind of book that I'm working with him on. And then in July, and I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Mark Torres.
Yes, I see you have a book signing, bro.
Yeah, Mark Torres invited me to come out with him and do a book signing on July 19th. It's going to be at Royals Collectibles in Flushing, Queens, here in New York. So it's going to be on a Wednesday, the 19th, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. We're going to be hanging out there. So big shout out to Mark. Thank you so much for inviting me to go with you guys. Designated is the book. If you guys haven't seen it yet, check it out. Designated by Mark Torres. I'll have some stuff posted on my social media. So follow me at Get Your Meds and you'll see some of that there. So that's going to be fun. And then I'm trying to do some more conventions, man, just to go check them out and just, walk around, see what they do. I'm going to be signing up for some next year. I'm thinking about heading out your way, bro, out to Dallas or out to Texas or whatever. And you guys have a bunch of them out there. So maybe sign up for some next year there. So, coming soon.
Texas is popping. But Flushing, that was my old stopping ground, Flushing. When we were in high school, my boy Herbert Antonio Cano Joey Bustamante, that was his full name, right? I used to whenever I would meet up with him, everybody would say, "Yo, Herb." I'd be like, "Yo, Herbert Cano Antonio Joey Bustamante." He's like, "Yo, stop it." But he had a Porsche that him and his father. So his father's legit. His father's a blue collar working guy. Saved his money, bought his son the frame, the body for the Porsche, and together they built the engine. Nice. And it took him a year to, father and son. What a great way, to bond with your son, right? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, he built that Porsche and he created a monster. So we used to get in that Porsche and we used to drive to Flushing to pick up girls. That was the thing in high school. And then we used to go to Jackson Heights, Queens. We used to go to Casa Colombia to get some good food. Yeah, it was
still there.
Yo, bro, it was the bomb back then. But
Queens has all that good food, bro. That's Spanish food. It's got some great restaurants out there. Especially like South American food. Woo! Ecuadorian, Colombian, Venezuelan, all that joint. It's so good.
Fantastic,
all that stuff is great out there.
I know.
Mr. Aníbal Arroyo just made it. What up, brother?
Yes, Arroz con Pollos.
He's into his house. But yeah, bro. So that's what's going on, man. I'll be doing that this summer and seeing what else we got going on. What's Aníbal doing? I'm doing a career day at a school tomorrow for an old Air Force friend. She's a teacher now. Yay, me. That's what's up, bro.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, do your thing, baby. Do your thing. Yeah. So I have a robust schedule for 2024. I'll be announcing sometime in the fall. I've been partnering with local community leaders and stuff like that to build my name in Texas. And so I'm working on some stuff for next year, just to hit the pavement and do a lot of signings, appearances, demonstrations. So next year is going to be really big for me. I'm excited.
Demonstrations. Wow. Demonstrations.
I get to talk about
Okay, Sammy. Sammy a rebel.
Sammy's a rebel.
That's for Samuel.
Yeah, right. And I'm excited about book number 6. I'm in the development stage of book number 6, and I'm excited about it. It's a next level duty with book number 6, so it's gonna be fun. So that's gonna be coming in the fall, and that'll be the last one for this year. Then we'll start the next year probably around February with book number 7. So for everybody who has the collection, it's gonna be popping, and then working on getting the graphic novel in stores nationwide by the end of the year or the beginning of next year. So more to come with that too. So just hustling on the back end, taking the summer off from Kickstarter. Kickstarter really burned me out. And
Kickstarter, I mean, that's a whole topic.
Yeah.
Kickstarter. I just think that the way Kickstarter is set up, it's not something that you can live off of. No. As an indie, like you can't just put all your eggs into that Kickstarter basket and say, okay, do or die here. This is what I'm gonna. You have to expand. You got to go beyond the crowdfunding. I just think that it's reached this peak and now it's like on its decline unless you're a big name, like like Brian
dollar for dollar. Every nickel went on printing the product.
It's
Just Kickstarter.
It's insane, bro.
There was not 1 cent that I saw. Everything went to printing.
Yeah, Kickstarter burnout is real. I'm telling you,
it is real. Yeah. So it's like
it's not easy.
Yeah, not only that, but then you know, dollar for dollar, you do that, but then you also got to pay taxes on it at the end of the year, right? You know, so it's like,
dude,
so
totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
Uncle Sam's gonna get me next year, bro. Coming after me, son.
Uncle Sam is. I filed my taxes quarterly, so I do it quarterly so I can keep up because I had to file taxes for Puerto Rico because Puerto Rico charged me taxes. Everybody's coming after you. Everybody has your hands in you. Yo, get your hands out my pocket, man. Back up.
And now a lot of these conventions are asking for, you know, tax ID forms.
Now they're asking for that stuff.
So now Uncle Sam really is gonna know what you're doing out there.
You know what it is because this administration's been spending money everywhere else but the U.S. and now we got to pay up. So they're raising property taxes, they're raising food prices, they're raising we're eating all the money that they're spending elsewhere instead of putting it into our infrastructure. I'm getting off that topic because I'm gonna get mad, but that's what it is. It's like we got to pay for these knuckleheads. You know, I'm like, come on, man, you got to change the game.
Yo, I'm feeling a little sick, Sam.
I know. I'm feeling sick. I'm tired of talking to these mofos.
My stomach.
Yeah, I know. So I think it's time. It's time to get your mail.
It's time for your medicine.
Dealing with trolls online.
That's that remix, kid. You just
I know, right?
it.
You saw that?
I was like, wait a minute, what is this?
I was like, wicked.
Wow. Trolls online.
Trolls are real, bro.
One of our friends who watches this show, Hades, you know, the man behind ASAP Imagination, had a situation. On
you got beef? Yo, you got beef? What's up?
Beef.
What's up?
You had that Twitter beef. You know,
beef hat to the back. Beef? Where's the beef? Where's the beef? What's up?
He had the good old-fashioned Twitter beef.
Hootie hoo!
So, you know, so somebody comes off, starts mouthing off. And, you know,
oh, really?
Listen, I think our instinct is to attack, right? Attack mode. You know what I mean? You're attacked. You want to attack these trolls. Not the best way to handle things. Now, had the whole, what did you say? Had the whole cow. Not just, he said it was beef. He had the whole cow. So listen, so Hades, you know, he went about it the right way. He kind of tried to diffuse the situation and just basically didn't really come at that person, but was like basically just try to be jokey and ha ha ha. But that didn't work because the guy has beef, has a cow. So he wants to come back and say some other dumb crap. You know what I mean? And so it was like, so we were having a conversation and you know, and he said, you know what would be a good topic for you guys? Talk about how to handle trolls online, how to handle.
There's going to be two different answers. I'm just saying.
No, I think, well, no, yeah, right. You're probably right. But I think that, you know, hindsight is 20/20, as they say. And so I'm sure that, and when we talked about it, Hades was like, you know what? Maybe I should have just said anything. I should have just ignored the troll. And I think that that's what we need to do. Ignore the troll. Just
avoid the noid.
Yeah, just, you know, maybe block them, delete them. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things. I think with our level of fame, I don't think we have to worry too much about, oh my God, they're gonna you know, kill our brand. Not yet. Yeah. So I think ignoring these guys and basically just whether you block them, whether you or her, trolls are people too. They're so whether you block them, whether you delete them from following you or whatever, you know, just don't even engage. And slowly they'll go away. I think they'll go away. You know, like if you don't feed that fire, they just be like, all right, well, I guess he's not taking into what I'm trying to do over here. But it's tough, bro. It's tough. It's not easy. Have you been trolled, Sam? Have you ever had to deal with trolls?
So I'm gonna talk about the young Sam. Right. So the young Sam, it's story time, ladies and germs.
Here we
So
go.
way down upon the Swanee River. So back in the
That's how you
days,
start your story.
so back in the days when there wasn't all of this, it was just forums, and I think it was IGN was the forum, right? And it was a gaming forum, but they had a comic section on the forums. And I used to post, that was the early days of Crazy Comics, and I used to post all the time to promote what we're doing or whatever. And there were these trolls, and they were ripping into me, and they were dissing me and all that stuff. But I was in security back then, so I redid some research. I was like, and I found out that they were a meetup group. They were an artist group that met up regularly, and they met up regularly close to my work. And I was like, holla, right? So I grabbed my buddies, and we went. And we showed up at that meetup, and I sat down and I said, "Hi, I'm Sam.
I'm Duty from Uranus.
Now you can tell me to my face what you're saying online." And the poop came out, and they turned white, and they were like rambling and mumbling and apologizing, blah blah blah. I said, "Just keep my name out your mouth," and we left it at that. That was Sam back then. Sam was straight out of Hollis, Queens. Sam, was a different youngin. Sam was one of those that you had to fight for your own. The Sam today, I get them all the time. So I have, like on YouTube, I have restrictions. You can't put negative comments. You can't put any of that stuff. So I see who tries to do it. So I get the data, and I can see that there's a lot of people who want to try to rip in, but have it all blocked. I have specific words that you can't use, harassment stuff. You can't do any of that stuff. What is it, Sammy?
Miller and hackers. I gave the professional response and blank control pleb.
So now what I do is I had it on Facebook, and I blocked them, and I deleted the post. If it's on something that I generated, that I started, that means I'm that administrator. That's the one. I'm the one who can control it. In the moderator, so I'll delete it. If it's on somebody else's, I can't control that. I just don't give it. So what happened was they want the attention. It's bait, right? So it's like clickbait. They want the attention. They want to get a reaction from you. That's what gives them energy. That's what gives them life and purpose. When you don't give that to them, it's kryptonite. They don't know how to handle it. So silence is golden. Less is more. So I get it all the time. It happens at least every other week. There's somebody trying to pop off, right? So I'm like, delete, and they're like, damn. They move on to the next victim until they get somebody to react. That's their purpose. So don't give them any energy.
Yeah.
What she said?
She said pleb. She's laughing at the word pleb.
So, don't give it any energy at this stage of the game. Look, I'm not that young guy anymore. Now I'm just trying to live my life. Do you don't, I mean, even to this day, like YouTube, I don't allow people to put thumbs down, right? But I can see it. I can see like 14 thumbs down. Why do you feel compelled to try to hate on somebody? What is it? What's wrong and what's missing in your life that you want to hate on somebody? So for me, I'm like, yo, I just put all those things in place.
You could definitely tell. Yeah, you could definitely tell that the word pleb
chose me. So I would say, ignore it, delete it, walk away, because you take the wind from their sails, and they're just gonna sit there in the middle of the ocean without any wind and nowhere to go, and eventually they're gonna get eaten up by sharks.
Yeah, man. Listen, they try. I haven't heard anyone use pleb as an insult since 80s England. Well, there you go. Damn. Lou, you just shouted out Hades, man. Like the 80s, like damn. We go back. Sometimes it's fun to troll back. No, listen. It depends though. It depends. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, to me, I think that if you're like an individual who just wants to troll back, cool. I think when you're trying to, run a brand, start a business and stuff like that, it doesn't.
There's no place for it.
Yeah, and there's no point, because what are you going to get out of it? Now,
first of all,
a burner account, and you want to attack them on a burner account, they don't know it's you, kind of thing, and you control back and forth. That's a different story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. First of all, they don't know you. You don't know them. So why would you even want to entertain the conversation? You know what I'm saying? It's like, why do you want to give somebody that spotlight? Because what you're doing is feeding the fire. Yeah. If you got nothing better to do it, then it's fun. Nah, exactly. They've done nothing while you're. Yeah, I mean, it's like so here's what it is, right? So a lot of times you just represent what they weren't able to accomplish. Even if it's not at a grand scale, it's just you represent forward movement. And sometimes they just want to hate on that. They can't take it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, look, if you ever watch anything that I put out, it's always positive messages, but there's still people going to hate on the positive message. There's still people going to try to poke holes on it. It is what it is. You know what I mean? You know, back in the days, we'd face up. I'm not that guy anymore. You know, I'm older.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Show up at a mall and beat up 13-year-olds? Like, you know what I mean?
I know,
like,
but when I was younger, it'd be a different story. I'm not that guy anymore. Now I'm just like, yo, I'm living my life. If you don't like my work, fine. Move on. Turn the page.
You know, it's even where it's one thing if it's like young kids, like just trolling. It's worse when it's like older guys. You know
and it's
what I'm
usually
saying?
older guys.
Yeah, who had, like you said, who have not done anything in that whole year or whatever amount of time. They've done nothing. Yo, what up, D? I'm worried that I popped.
You're talking about plebs. I still don't know what a pleb is. So
it's like a low level, like somebody lower class. It's like a pleb, you know. It's like a nobody. Am I right? My British friends. Is that
like
correct?
A simpleton?
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's it was interesting when what's his name when Hades was telling me about that. I was like,
yeah. So Paul, it's not only you, it's everywhere. Anytime you're posting progress, you're gonna get haters. I get it at least every other week, bro. And I just shut it down. I don't talk about it. I never spotlight it. I don't give fuel to it. I don't give them airtime. I don't need to, I don't drag them through the mud. None of that stuff, because what it does is it makes them move on to the next person until they're looking for someone to react, because that gives them energy. That's what motivates them. That's what drives them. So when you take it away, they got nothing. You got nothing.
Sure. And you know what? Sometimes those guys, exactly. And if you keep feeding it, they may get lucky and find somebody else that also doesn't like you. And so then they get together and they start going at it.
And then what's even worse is that some people might take it too far, right? So you start giving back and it's just online back and forth, but then someone wants to take it too far and they're going to want to find out where you live, or they're going to want to post some stuff about you or manipulate a photo. You know what I'm saying? The world has changed. So I just say, yo, peace, love, and what is this called? Old fashioned. Peace, love, and old fashioned. Salute.
Salute. Yeah. Right? The lowest of the low class.
Yes, that's it, man.
You learn things here on Catch the Craze. For those who didn't know what a pleb was, now you do.
I'll give you an example.
You got more.
This was just one. This is the last one. I was somewhere, and it was at a bar, and I'm getting eyeballed, and I'm like, whoa, this is aggressive. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I went to the bathroom. I came back around the other side of the individual where he couldn't see me coming. And I looked at and then I asked the bartender, I said, what's he having? He's like, this. And then so I ordered it. And I said, hey, my name's Sam. I said, hey, you want to talk? He's like, hey, I said, I seen something was on your mind. I'm not sure if it was directed to me, but you were looking directly at me. What's up? And we just started talking. Nah, I got a lot on my mind. I'm sorry. I was just looking at that direction. I was just looking at that direction. But, I'm in a location trying to relax.
I'm just at the bar. Is that what you're telling us right now?
Nah. But I wanted to know if my life was in jeopardy. So, I needed to take the aggressive stance. But I said,
you know what? Not aggressive. That was actually kind of smooth.
Yeah, it was smooth. Yeah, it was my way of finding out. It was feeling the air, right? Saying what's up. So I was like, hey, and it's like, oh, thanks for the drink, whatever. We just started talking. And it was a family issue. He was having some domestic issues and whatever, and his mind was preoccupied, and it wasn't about me. but you see, but he was looking directly at me, and we just assume because someone's staring at you that you're the problem. It could be something else.
You could have winked at the guy.
But I decided to go to the bathroom. From around.
I think you did a little too much. You did a little.
Because if I went directly to him, it would have been something different.
I would have winked at him and see what he would have done.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I don't need that.
I'm not gonna go all the way to.
I'm not gonna, because I had to think. I was like, Sam, I said, how are you gonna handle this? Because this guy's looking at you aggressive, right? So I had to process the information.
It's that paranoid Sam. It's the Sam that wouldn't go to TJ.
I couldn't let it linger because I'm staying at that hotel, and I'm like, I'm not letting this linger because I'm in this hotel. And this guy's in this hotel. I need to figure what this is about,
bro.
Right?
I think your name is John Wick, bro. So I think you think your name is John Wick. You got a coin player? You got a coin?
But sometimes our mind makes it bigger than it is. You know what I'm saying? find out for yourself, right? But do that rest
you don't wink in the park. You ain't prepared to get winked back at, bro. But now we know where we stand.
I'm not winking at anybody.
He said, "Wait, are we talking about picking people up at a bar now?"
I'm not winking at anybody. You crazy. Anyway, but so that was that story. I'm just saying, get the facts. Forget the facts before you get the get. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, so with that said, avoid the noise. Don't get caught up in drama. Life is too short. Live your life, have fun, and keep it popping. But with that said, we have a guest coming on the show, and we're gonna bring him on right now. And where's the dang thing? Here we go. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, what's up, guys? How are you, man?
What's going on, Alex? How you doing, man?
How's it going?
Good.
Thank you for having me on the show, guys.
Awesome, anytime. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate you, brother. Man. So listen, man, I had a chance to take a look at some of the work that you have on your Instagram page. For those who don't know, this is Alex Melo. Follow him on Instagram at _Alex Melo. And you have some really, really cool stuff on there, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, wait, are we talking about picking? Aniva said, my homie Melo, man, Alex.
So yeah, what's up, Aniva? That's the homie, man.
Yeah, man. So tell us a little bit about you, man. Tell us a little bit about who Alex Melo is.
So I'm from West New York, man. Been here all my life. Visual artist, specializing in painting and drawing. I graduated from NJCU with a BFA. I love anime. I love just basically anything related to drawing and painting. I'm heavily into, man. Sorry if I sound a little nervers right now.
Nah, that's all right. You got a crowd forming. You got
they're making them
WN Snoopy. You got Bleem Sounds.
That's what's up, man. I love it. I love the love. I love the love. So for those who maybe don't know you, Alex, tell us a little bit about where did that come from, man? Where did that fire start for the love of art and maybe anime, or where did it come from? Where did it start?
Ever since I was a child, man, I've always been drawing. Pokemon, I feel like was the first thing I was heavily drawn into. And I started drawing Pokemon when I was a kid, and then from there it just took off. I love wrestling, so I started drawing wrestling figures when I was young, and then it took off from there. I didn't paint until I want to say 2013 is when I started painting, and I started to just analyze things in a different manner opposed to just drawing. And just analyze architecture, analyze geometric shapes and non-organic and organic shapes in a manner where I can put these shapes into a composition that was interesting for me.
Did you go to school for art when you were young? Like when you realized that you could draw, that you like to draw, did you go to school to learn more about?
Most of it I'm self-taught, but I definitely received help. Like I said, I graduated from NJCU with a bachelor's in fine arts. I said BFA. I don't know if anyone understood that acronym, and I also went to Hudson, and I took art classes there. But most of it is self-taught. They only teach you enough in school in order for you to progress.
Right.
But yeah,
man. Did you ever want to create your own character? I know you were into Pokemon, and then you got into the wrestling. But did any of that stuff spark ideas in your mind to say, "Hey, man, maybe I want to create my own stuff"? Or you were just happy with, "I'm just gonna, start, looking into shapes and doing all that other stuff and explore the other side of art"?
I mean, as a kid, I definitely wanted to create my own caricatures and things of that nature. But as soon as I got into painting later on in life, I was more focused in on that and more honed on just trying to manufacture this skill in painting and make it to something of my own.
Yeah, we have a question from Dave. It says, I was into stuff like H.R. Geiger, who helped design the biomechanical look in Alien.
Oh, okay. Not 100% familiar with that. That's very specific. It was a dope movie, but no.
Yeah, no. So no, you were talking about that just going into painting? What was it about painting that attracted you to it? And then what kind of painting were you doing? Like, what attracted you to it?
So, the biggest inspirations for me as artists that were already established was Mark Rothko, his work with color and how the colors actually made you feel when you were looking at these paintings as a viewer. It just captivated me, and I was just like, wow, I want to go into that realm where I'm able to create these compositions where people can just formulate a meaning of their own for that,
Right.
Like Thomas Laskowski, he's big on capturing memory from his own and putting that onto a canvas and basically creating these beautiful paintings, man. And that for me was very captivating. I think the texture within brushstrokes, I love that. I love texture. Shapes. For some reason, I'm just drawn to shapes, man. And like Robert Delaunay, Sonia Delaunay, they were creating these magnificent paintings of literally just like circles and organic shapes, and they would put abstract figures in them that resembled people. And I was just drawn to that, man.
Are you drawn into, like, I guess from what I'm gathering from you is like, you look at a piece of art and you don't want the artist to tell you what it means. You almost want to find meaning in it yourself. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah. I mean, most of that stuff is subjective, right? And as humans, when we look at something, we always want to find something in that whatever we're looking at, right? When we look at the sky, when we're looking at clouds, we're looking for something there that's not actually there, right? So I just found it interesting that these artists are creating these paintings, and they're playing with that factor. They're playing with that notion.
Yeah.
We got a question from Moneyball. Have you ever considered working on a graphic novel for even a cover because your style can be argued as having graphic design elements?
No, I've never considered it. But again, I don't know what the future holds. Right as of now, I've been doing a lot of like manga style drawings, but that's like using references and whatnot. But no, I've never considered it. If anyone were to approach me with the idea, I would definitely entertain it and be excited about it.
That's awesome. And you talked about composition when painting and things of that nature. Is that's something that you learned, at school, how to compose an image, or is that something that you maybe felt like, man, that just comes easy to me because I kind of like just know this stuff without even having to learn it too much? Like, how's that for you as far as the composition in your pieces?
I think school definitely helped me out with learning what a composition is and how to construct one. Because before that, I was just looking at paintings and admiring what the actual content of it was, not the actual composition and how it was formed together and how everything works intertwined with each other in a painting.
Right.
So definitely school helped me out with that, and just also looking at different artists and how they were able to form these compositions. That again, that was through school, because I've never would have found out about different artists.
It's interesting,
specializing in these certain like genres, whether it be like folkism, we can go into like Renaissance times, or Baroque, where Caravaggio is creating these. I don't know if are you guys familiar with Caravaggio?
I've seen his work. I was going to tell you, when I went to the Museum of Modern Art, and I stood in front of one of my favorite paintings is The Persistence of Memory by Salvador Dali, right? Like, that's one of my favorite pieces. And it's crazy because when I went to the Museum of Modern Art and I stood in front of the painting is like this big, bro. Like, it's tiny. It's not even that big. There was something about seeing that piece of work in person that almost made me starstruck. Like, when you meet like a celebrity and you can't believe the celebrity standing in front of you, like, that's how I felt about that little piece of art, bro. Like, I looked at it because it's it's my favorite painting. and the meaning behind it. You know what I'm saying? And when you're looking at this thing, you're like, holy cow, there it is. Look at the strokes. Look at the strokes from, like, he painted that, and it was surreal, man. Seeing something like that. So I can understand when you're talking about looking at it like at a piece of art and saying, wow, that made me feel a certain way. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, and then I mean, most of my inspiration comes, like what I said, just literally my current living condition. And what I mean by that is just like, whether it's something that's negatively affected me in life, positively affected me. If I'm walking outside and I see a building in New York, and I love how the sharp edges conform to the sky, or whatever the case is, these are all things that I use for inspiration. Analyzing other artists as well.
Yeah.
I use for inspiration. Dude, like Picasso, there was a point in time where he would go into people's studios and steal their ideas and do it 100 times better than them. To the point where he was known for doing this, and other artists, they were like, no, dude, you can't come to my studio and look at what I'm working on. You know? So definitely other art is inspirational for me. And then I just take it from there, man. Like I worked on a series that was very personal to me, and I don't know. Are you guys able to like show what my work is, or
on
Instagram? Yeah.
You have to give me a second though.
Yeah, no. Some of the comments that were up there, Dave mentioned your well, first Snoopy said Melo made my J-Lo art piece for my music producing. So,
homie,
big shout out to you on that. And Dave said, looking at your work on IG, and I love the Cowboy Bebop piece with Faye and Spike. So big fan of that. So we'll show some of that stuff up there. And Lou said that looking at Frank Frazetta's artwork up close was emotional. And
yes, I mean, I agree with that, because we went to the museum, the Frazetta Museum, and it was surreal. So what do you want me to show you?
If you scroll down,
yeah, you got some cool stuff.
You see the yellow one?
Yeah.
That was part of a series that I had started. My father has dementia, right? So when I first learned about this, it was extremely hard for me to just come to terms with what the disease is, and how a person is now going to react to certain things, and how I was going to react to certain things like that. So I felt like for me, it was an outlet that I had to just put out there. I needed to put this stuff out there. And I drew back to what Thomas Noskowski does, and he draws inspiration from memory. He passed away, but he used to live in upstate New York. And there was this trail that he would go on. I think it stretched to like 15 miles or something like that. And he created a series on literally the whole trail. Damn. Anything that he would see within that trail, he would put in his paintings, and that would be the series. And obviously, as an outsider looking in, as a viewer, if no one were to tell you what you're looking at, you're not going to know that this is like a map of the trail that he's located, or maybe this is a flower or something like that. But he cropped it and makes it into this beautiful composition, and that's what I felt like I needed to do here. And I used, first of all, I used my memory, but then I wanted to intertwine it and just correlate it with memories that my father's had. And I created these rooms that he's been in, and where he started in life in the United States, Dominican. So he was born in the Dominican Republic.
Right.
And when he first came here, his first bedroom was a bunk bed.
Okay.
Right. So he used to live just like in a room, and his bed was on the lower level of the bunk bed. Right.
Gotcha.
So I created this imagery in order to just correlate that. And each piece is drawn from a memory in his life, from what I can remember. And I just basically go through the pieces trying to construct these different memories. And awesome, every time I go back into a memory, whether it's like a lamp or it's a different shape or maybe a different color, it's linking me to something else from that memory. And I just go from there,
dude. So Alex, this series of paintings that you have, are they all like? Because I love the way it looks like you're looking through a window. almost.
Right.
The body, like, is that something that's kind of part of what that memory to you signifies, looking through almost like a window, and that's the memory. Is that what you've done here, or am I looking too much into that?
I created these. I want to say the first one was maybe, yeah, it was during COVID. And this is when we were all stuck in the house. And like I said before, most of the art, my art, I'm pretty sure for everyone else, is from their current living condition. And I'm literally just staring out of a window for like however many months until like I decided to go outside. I obviously had to run errands and whatnot, but most of my days I spent just looking out the window, drawing. I started to draw like Dragon Ball Z in manga style.
Right.
That's where the window aspect comes from.
Ah, okay. I see. So everything was looking out of a window because you hadn't
Yeah.
stepped
So
outside.
and then it also just ties back into like that window frame is looking into that memory.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I love about that. That's what I love about the way you did that. This is interesting here, man. Talk to us a little bit about the staircase and the colors that you chose here for this.
So I'm huge on color, right? And it's as hard as it's made sound, or as hard as it is to believe. Color is subjective, right? I mean, you guys are artists. We perceive color in like the context of like natural daylight, which is blue and orange, and then those natural daylights in that context is what illuminates objects and color, right? So let's say you're looking at a Van Gogh painting per se, and you're looking at the shading and the shadow that he uses to what someone may look like as dark gray, but to him, he's using different purples and different blues and whatnot, and all these different tones to create this dark shadow. And that's what I try to create when you see these vivid colors. And I'm not using what per se would be a wall. Let's say someone may perceive it as white or whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to grow out of that or conform out of that.
It's funny you say that, man, because when you look at some of these paintings, like you talk about Van Gogh, for example, it's not until you get really close up to that painting that you see the strokes and how each stroke maybe wasn't, like you said, maybe wasn't that color. But when you step back, it looks darker than it is because he's mixed all those colors and all those things together to give you the illusion that you have a whole different color when you step behind or when you step back to look at that stuff. So that's interesting that you're looking at color that way.
Yeah. And then basically that staircase,
shoot.
Sorry, you guys exited, but I'll finish. The
Right.
staircase was literally, that's a staircase from my house, my father's house in the Dominican Republic. And I just chose to emulate that within the painting with the orange on at that other frame within that wall is basically the sun setting. And I'm huge for some reason on having these oval shaped doorways.
Like the arches. Yeah. Can I ask you, I mean, okay, you don't have to answer this, but can I ask you a personal question about your dad? Have you shown these paintings to him, and what has his reaction been if you have shown
Yeah, I've definitely shown them to him. I explained where they come from. He was pretty excited about the fact that I decided to make a series on his memories. But it was nothing out of the ordinary, you know? He's not that very much into art, so he appreciates it. He likes the colors, likes how it looks. But
that's cool too.
That's like that's the most reaction that I get out of him.
That's nice.
Yeah. Which is
awesome.
completely fine because, you know, not everyone has the same perception as everyone else when it comes to certain things, and that's the same way with art. It can be with clothes, you know, it can be with anything.
Yeah. Bleeding Sound says that's great stuff, simple and elegant with a good story.
Thank you.
Man, this is dope, man. I also like that you go into like you have like Sam pulled up that Venom piece, so you do have like, you know, like your manga and like your kind of like right here, like the Dragon Ball Z stuff. Was this your favorite anime growing up?
Dragon Ball Z for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
Grew up on the when they used to show it. So I didn't grow up with cable, right? And I used to have the local channels. So they would show it on, I think it was channel 47 Sunday mornings, and they would play it in Spanish. And it was the funniest shit ever, but that's the memory that I have from Dragon Ball Z. And then I just, just rewatch everything else in English when I got older.
That's funny, man. So you were watching that thing on Telemundo and shit.
Yeah, dude, hilarious.
Hilarious.
Fuck, hold on. I'm trying to remember how would they dub it. They would be like Super Saiyajin, like yo, the funniest shit ever.
Oh man, that is great, man. Well, like if you ever catch like one of those Spanish dubbed cartoons, they're the best, bro. There's always the same voices. It's pretty funny, bro. It's pretty funny. But
now these pieces you sculpted?
Yeah, these are cool.
So this is wood, right? And this I did for school, and it was super. If I had the chance to learn another skill and then also have the money to like manipulate wood, because this shit, like, you need like all these power tools and whatnot. Right. It's super dangerous. I almost fucking cut my pinky off.
Damn.
Wood is super amazing to work with. I didn't know it was, obviously I knew it was as malleable because we have all these wood, like all these wooden furnitures and whatnot. But when you're actually there creating an art piece from wood, it's pretty amazing, man. And this again ties back to the whole dementia concept that I was working on, and everything within this structure, like that hole you see in the front on the bottom right hand corner,
right?
That I wanted to be the hiccups within his memory. So that's why you see a vague hole, and every little hole is just a hiccup.
Interesting.
Of memory. And the wood grain, I wanted it to represent layers within his memory.
Cool, man.
You know?
Yeah, no, that's deep. I like that.
Yeah, man.
I like
that's the stuff when you're puffing the magic dragon and thinking philosophy stuff.
Around this time, I used to burn, right? And around this time, I'm sober as shit, creating all these pieces. And I'm always like, yo, it's insane. Like, what if I would have done, like, maybe, like, if I would have smoked? Or
imagine?
Like, acid or some shit.
Yeah, Aniba said, was that McBain's class?
No, that was Brian Gustafson's class. I don't know if you ever took his class.
Okay. How long did something like this take you to make, bro? Like, how long do you
all right. So I was super ambitious, and there was a piece of wood on the outside of the studio, and it was from a light pole that had fallen, and they had brought it into the studio in school. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna use this wood because the wood grain in that, it's gonna have it's probably super old wood, so it's gonna have multiple layers of wood grain. And I wanted to use that, and it was the hardest fucking piece of wood to chop down. I was there for like, I think 2 weeks
trying to chop it down.
This
one right here, this one that you're looking at,
a good piece of wood that I could use. It didn't fucking happen.
Oh.
So I just gave up and used pine wood that they had in the studio available for us.
Oh man! So you guys did everything. So you cut it up, you stained it, you did all of that.
Yeah, I cut it up. Nice. There was only one machine that I was super afraid to use. Have you guys ever used the table saw machine?
Yeah.
That has like, it's literally, if you put your hand too low to it, your whole shit is coming off,
bro.
Right? So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna use that machine. So the professor would do that, and everything else I would use though.
Gotcha.
And I cut it up myself. I stained it, glued it together. Staining is actually a very interesting process.
Yeah. Niwa said he didn't take that class. He didn't take the class that you were talking about. Oh, you got the NWO cosplay right there. See that?
That was super cool. Yeah, that face paint took me about like 2 hours to put on.
Damn, son.
So what was it about your trip to this location that inspired you?
Dude, that's like literally the mecca of fucking painting. If people aren't familiar with what the structure is, that is in Paris, in Versailles, one of the king's mansions over there that's super popular. And they literally had everything in there. I looked at so much art there that when I came back, I didn't want to look at any art for like 3 months. But then after that, I was just like super inspired. And they had a lot of Caravaggio, and he uses chiaroscuro, which is like this dynamic light. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the term, but for anyone watching, it's a technique where you use dynamic lighting in the painting, and it just gives it this beautiful I want to say just mood within the painting.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, man. Look at that thing.
I mean, I could imagine just being there. Your eye just travels. I mean,
it was insane because Versailles, like some of that shit was gold, like literally gold.
Yeah,
crazy,
right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't really tell which one was, but it's this huge place. And everything in there is just beautiful. And obviously it's just like it's the mecca. Paris is like, or Europe is the mecca of painting.
Yeah.
So it's very inspirational. If anyone watching is into painting or just art in general, definitely recommend going to Paris and visiting all the galleries and museums out there.
Did you go to the Louvre?
I did go to the Louvre.
Yeah, man.
It's beautiful.
Crazy, right?
Great. Yo, dude, it's insane.
Oh, dude, I would love to go. It's crazy because like when, I live in New York, you're in Jersey, right?
Yeah.
So like we take for granted some of these things. Like we have so many great museums just in the city, bro. And like we don't go, like the Guggenheim is here. Like, you know what I mean? Like all of these like great, just famous museums that we don't go. And like, I feel like people in probably Paris are the same way. Or in France, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, the Louvre, that's cool. Like they probably don't even go.
Yeah,
and we're like,
probably.
Man, that's crazy. But I would love to go to the Louvre. Like that's one of those places I want. The Mona Lisa's there, right? I think.
I saw the Mona Lisa over there as well.
That's another small. Isn't it like a small painting?
It's not that small, but it's like I want to say it's like 24 by like 36 around there.
It's not that small.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
But when you think about the Mona Lisa, you think of this big grand piece, right?
Well,
it's
the Mona Lisa. And then you get there, and it's like, okay, that's cool. No, but I'm sure it's cool. I'm sure, like I said, it's gorgeous. When you see these things like in person, it's a whole different experience than just seeing them on even a print of it.
Yeah, it was one of the things when I lived in New York. That's the one thing I miss. My wife and I used to go to the Museum of Modern Art. We used to go to the Museum of History. It was because you can just sit there for hours and hours and hours and just take it all in and just, and imagine, that's the best part of it. It inspires imagination.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a lot of, when I went to the Museum of Modern Art, they had a lot of pieces by, Frida. They had a lot of Frida pieces there. And
Frida also has an interesting story.
She has a very interesting story. Like a lot of these artists, their stories were crazy. Was that? Did you go on the class trip with what's the art history professor? Some class trip to where? I don't know. Did you go?
Someone asked that?
Yeah. Niba said. Did you go to the class trip with what's the art history professor? And he can't. I guess he's trying to remember the name.
I went on an art trip with Gustafson, and we went to go see some structural pieces, which were pretty amazing.
Yeah. That's another thing about like you said, when you travel abroad, when you look at the architecture and when you look at these buildings that have been around for so many years, dude, like it's insane, dude. When you think about that, it's crazy.
The architecture in Paris.
I'm sure.
It's just in Europe. And I was in Austria and I went to the castles. I went to the parliament. And the details, the architecture, the renderings, the painting. I mean, it was heaven. It was heaven.
And then you think about
they appreciate it, but they appreciate the art.
How old it is too.
Yes,
like, they don't have the advances that we have in technology back then. They were men up there, putting stuff together, sculpting things into the building.
They were literally like in guilds.
Right. Yeah, which is what's sad about New York is like they're putting up all these modern you know, and they're tearing down the old where you had the gargoyles and you had those nice detailed buildings. They're all like disappearing because they're putting all these modern glass buildings. You know, where you go abroad and they appreciate the masterpieces.
Yeah. Alex,
for sure.
how long does painting take you? Is that a process for you?
It's definitely a process. I'm currently working on pieces that are a little smaller, and those aren't taking me as long. I want to say about 3 weeks max. I do like an 8-hour session, 6-hour session. I'll just drink beer. You know, I love beer, and I'll just go at it.
Right.
Because most of my paintings have all these sharp lines and all these sharp edges, I have to like hone in. Like sometimes I take my glasses off and put the canvas literally in front of my face just because I have to get all this line work. I don't use tape at all.
Wow.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, so all of the line work is just done by hand. So it takes me a while sometimes.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I've been using a lot of acrylic. Oil is a process, but oil is also can just give you beautiful renderings in terms of texture, in terms of the finish. I may work on oil for future projects.
Are any of your pieces for sale? Like, are you selling any of these things? Somebody's watching saying, yo, dude, I want a Melo piece. Like, can they?
Yeah, they're definitely for sale. I also do commissions. I've sold a few, nothing major. Most of my artwork is literally just me using it as an outlet.
Right.
And it's one of my passions that I do. So yeah.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. No, this is fun, man. I love talking about the creative process, man, with other artists and just
for sure.
Because everybody's got a different process, and different things inspire different people. I think that trip to Europe was probably one of the biggest inspirations for you. I'm sure when you came back, you were like, you said you didn't want to see paintings for a while, but after a while, you're like, yo, I gotta do some of this stuff. This is incredible.
Yeah. So leading up to Paris, I had done like an artist retreat. I feel like internally around that time, I just had all these conflicts within myself, and I did like an artist retreat in Pennsylvania, where I rented out like an Airbnb in the Poconos, and I was there for I think 4 days and 5 nights, something like that. And I was just literally taking photos and painting outside and just in nature. They had a sauna in there, so I was chopping wood in the morning, doing push-ups and going into the sauna. Super inspirational. And then I went to, like, I think a year later after that, I went to the trip just to kind of like just hone everything in and just put it all together.
That's awesome, bro.
That's dope.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's good stuff.
Yeah, man. So where can people find you on social media if people want to reach out to you?
You can find me on _ Alex Melo, MELO. Yeah, on IG. I only have Instagram.
Gotcha.
Awesome. Yeah, and the link is in the chat. It's also in the summary if you want to check it out. Any final words you want to share with the audience before we go?
Just if you're creative out there, man, just keep creating. I use art as an outlet for me. It's kept me sane. It's kept me grounded. And for kids, just keep creating. Don't fall back into other negative hobbies that you might get into. Stay positive, man.
That's it, brother. That's it. Thank you so much, Alex. Appreciate you coming on, man. And you're welcome back anytime, dude. If you want to talk
man.
more
Thank
art,
you guys for having me.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Cool,
man. And never be nervous on Catch the Craze. You're part of the family, bro. So
thanks, man.
We chilling out here.
We chilling. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
First time I did a podcast, so I was like, oh wait, hold on.
Yeah.
And it was a good way to start, bro. Good place to start. You know what I mean?
If you're gonna start out, you're gonna start with the Craze. But yeah, but thanks for coming on. We wish you much success with your endeavors, and
you
keep cracking. All right, bro. Thanks a lot.
Later, Alex. Peace, brother.
Cheers.
All right, man.
That was fantastic, man. That was a fantastic interview.
Good stuff, bro. Good stuff. I love
I
it,
love,
man.
you know what I love. I love the process. I love the story. I love talking to different creatives. This is what This is how we started out, man. This is how we started with Catch the Craze, and it was all about the stories. And this is what makes it fun. Just seeing. I mean, even like some of the names he was throwing out, I have to research it. I was like, damn. I remember when I first started dating my wife, we made it a monthly event to go to a different museum and to have different experiences. So,
Yeah, no, but
he inspired me to. I was like, yo, I know they have to have places out here in Texas. I gotta
that's what
find
I
them.
mean. Like you live in places like, when you live in like a place like New York and you don't take advantage of those things, it's almost like you're doing a disservice to yourself. Especially
Yeah,
like a person like me who's a creative. Like I totally need to go to these museums, and they got so many cool things on there. I feel you on those artist retreats, brother. I'm overdue for one. Yeah, no, and I love his story, man. The things that inspire him, things that make him, create. Like his
yeah,
dad, his dad, being sick and stuff like that, and the reason behind some of these paintings is beautiful, man. It's a beautiful thing.
yeah.
Thank you for having my brother Mello on. No doubt, bro.
No
Definitely
doubt.
for sure.
Thank you
No,
for coming on Catch the
hell
Craze
yeah.
and
Thank
checking
you
it
for
out.
coming on. Yeah,
That's
big
what we
time.
do. I mean, and for all of you who are new to Catch the Craze, we've been here since 2005. And the reason why we created the show was really to spotlight and showcase the unsung heroes, right? The up and comers, the future in the game. So we appreciate you for supporting our guests. When we grow, we get more eyes on our guests, and that's why we do the show. So yeah, it was fantastic. I love hearing it. Um, it's a I just love art in general, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I appreciate all forms of art, whether it's, like you ever been to Bryant Park
Hmm.
during Christmas
Yeah,
and you go and they have those huts and
they
they have
have the
different
yeah,
artists showcasing stuff,
yeah,
like the metal art, what they do with the shapes, and
yeah.
they make like Boba Fett out of metal. And so I appreciate just art in general, no matter what, whether it's clay art, whether it's puppeteers,
Yeah.
your puppetry, whatever it is. I
It's
just think when you're
amazing what people
yeah,
can do, bro. It's freaking amazing what people. Remember we had thanks Andy. I remember we had that gentleman who creates jewelry by hand.
yeah,
Like that's it. It's incredible what people can do. Like what we are capable of doing, what human beings are able to do, creative wise. It's incredible to me. It's incredible to me. And
it's
and and
fascinating.
and I appreciate all that stuff. Yeah. So
Just think about painting ceilings.
dude, like those people must, I mean people probably died doing stuff like
You know what
that,
I'm
dude.
saying? You're on your back, you're upside down, you're doing it. That takes heart, bro. That's where you
Crazy.
gotta love what you do to be able to do
Crazy.
that kind of stuff, and that's
Yeah.
that's inspiring in a whole.
Yeah, no doubt. Alex was great, man. Alex was great. Yeah, no, he
Yeah.
was cool. He was cool. Yeah, no, big shout out to Alex. Don't forget, follow him on the social media. He's _Alex Melo, Melo.
Yes.
So definitely check that out.
ELLO. Let me see that again.
Stay
Yeah, there it
mellow,
is.
baby.
Again, I'm putting it in the chat again for the third time. So it's there in the
Right.
chat if you don't know.
Give him a follow.
And it's also on the summary. So check them out. Really talented stuff. And again, and if you're new to Catch the Craze podcast and you're just watching this for the first time, or you're listening to us on Spotify or on Pandora, head over to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the channel. Again, where we grow the indie community grows, and that's why we do the show. Give us a thumbs up if you like this episode. If you have a comment, put it in the comments below. With that said, what do you got going on? You got a book signing coming up, George?
Book signing July 19th. That's a Wednesday. It's a comic book day. So July 19th over at Royal Collectibles in Flushing from 3 to 6 p.m. on July 19th. Go out there, check me out. I'm going to be with the team from Designated, which is a comic book by Mark Torres. He's going to be there. The cover artist is going to be there. Jenny Feldy is going to be there. She was the model on the cover. So we're going to be there. We're going to be signing books 3 to 6 p.m. on Wednesday, July 19th. So if you're in the Flushing, New York area, go check that out. Queens.
Fantastic. And then your boy up in Texas is still on tour. So in August 5th, I'll be at the Denton Comic Art Exposition. And then on the 12th of August, I'll be at Collected Comics for the grand opening of their new location. I'll be doing a book signing with my boy Paul Gomez and a bunch of other people like Ben Dunn and some other cats. And then I'll be in College Station Comic Con in October and in the Arlington Comic Fest. So, and then more to come. I got something lined up for November and December, so more to come with that. And check out the Craze and 10 or Less. Why there will never be another image revolution. If you missed that episode, go check it out right now on this channel. It's fantastic. It's trending well. Or head over to my art channel, The Art of Samuel. Why Prototype Toys is the way to go. Check that out. Save you time and money. You don't have to break the bank. And with that said, I'm Sip, the Crazy Man Vera.
George the Dreamer Medina.
And we are out. It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy. Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking?
Oh,
He described me. He said, I'm the what?
Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze on Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.